of domain in working memory performance of children with developmental language disorder, and engage with DLD Research Summary. Key terms in this research summary. Working memory, a processing system that can hold information temporarily whilst focusing on another task. For example, remembering key information in a story as it is told, whilst trying to work out what the conclusion may be. Remembering a person's address whilst listening to directions on how to get there. Processing speed, the time taken to process information. Domain, the type of information such as verbal or non-verbal. Interference, distractions from successful processing, such as previous memories. For example, struggling to remember a friend's new phone number because their old number keeps coming into your mind. Study background. Why was this study important? Extensive research indicates that children with DLD show several verbal deficits compared to their typically developing peers. However, this paper aimed to focus on deficits presented in non-verbal processes, which are crucial for working memory performance. For example, time taken to process information. Study aims. What were they trying to find out? This paper aimed to focus on deficits in non-verbal processes. There are three main processing-based hypotheses concerning DLD used to explain this deficit. A. Limitation in the verbal aspects of working memory. B. Slowed processing speed. And C. Inefficient inhibition of interference, for example, distractions from other past memories. What were the methods and tasks used in this study? In an attempt to integrate the hypotheses, the researchers used the serial order in a box complex span computational model as their theoretical framework. This requires participants to remember a set of items in the correct order, the serial order, whilst performing another task, such as judging whether an equation is correct or not. The role of domain, verbal or non-verbal, in working memory performance was examined by varying the domain of interference and recall task demands. For example, what they are required to memorize as part of the task. Results. What was found? Children with DLD showed poorer verbal as well as non-verbal working memory performance compared to their typically developing peers. Both children with DLD and typically developing children benefited from task demands being within one domain, i.e. all verbal or all non-verbal. Verbal interference had a greater effect on working memory performance of children with DLD compared to non-verbal interference. And what do these findings mean? This paper confirms the aforementioned hypotheses concerning processing in DLD children. There are some deficit patterns observed in DLD which are related to limitations in verbal aspects of working memory, processing speed, and inhibition of interference. DLD children perform more poorly in working memory tasks. Given the importance of verbal interference in children with DLD, parents, educators, and clinicians should be mindful of the rate as well as quantity of verbal information provided in home, school, and therapy sessions. The use of non-verbal information to support processing is considered rather useful. How to find out more? This paper is open access, which means everyone can read it. It can be found using this link. Thank you for reading this research. Contact us with questions or feedback at Engage with Developmental Language Disorder.